Michael Hernandez here of MLH Media, and I'm here today at the Pit HQ in Arroyo Grande with the man, the myth, Antonio Banuelos, man. How you doing today? The Pit Slow over there, the Pit.fit. You're the man over there, man. How's it going?
Well, I'm the head instructor. I'm going well. How you doing?
Hey, I'm not doing too bad. It's a great pleasure to get to sit down with someone that not only has so much knowledge in the MMA sphere, but someone that has also got to do it in that cage, man. Can you get to give these fans a little bit of a breakdown of what you've done in that cage in the WEC, UFC? Because even in your Japan days, man, you killed it over there in every single realm that you hit.
Pretty much, I've fought all over the place. I've fought a bunch of times at WC, once in the UFC, and then over in Japan, I fought for Dream. It was, what was it called? It was Pride, then Dream. After Pride disbanded, it turned into Dream, and then after that, it turned into something else, and I think now it's one. But, yeah, fought everywhere. Yeah.
Speaking a little bit about Pride, you obviously know a couple of guys that have fought for Pride. Chuck Liddell, one of your teammates, somebody that you know from back in your college days, and also Wanderlei Silva just got inducted into the UFC Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
Can you give some thoughts about that and what you think? Because, I mean, you were someone that was around with Wanderlei back in those days as well.
Yeah, I think it was a good. Yeah, they should have inducted him. The fight between him and Chuck alone was worth it, right? And then everything he did in Pride, like he was. Can you remember when he fought in Pride? Dude, that's all they did. They were just like smashing people, and that's. And then they also had like stomps. So the Pride day when Vanderlei fought was pretty insane because they did 10-minute rounds and they had head stomps, which is crazy, right?
Yeah. I think about it now, and I'm just like, how did this get passed?
Yeah, you watch the highlight videos, and it's just like him and the shooter box team, them just like gunning on people and then just stomping it out. But yeah, those were like the Pride's glory days. Yeah, but yeah, he should be. Of course, he should be inducted to the Hall of Fame. You know, he's one of the pioneers of the sport. So yeah, it was a good choice.
He's done a whole lot for the sport, but also somebody that we were just talking about right now, Chuck, he's done a lot for the sport as well. Somebody that you kind of got to blossom your MMA career with, got to train with. Can you go ahead and give the fans, if they didn't know already, kind of you and Chuck's background, how you guys got to training at the Pit, and just the whole story behind that?
Okay, yeah, Chuck, I mean, I can't say nothing but good things about him. Without him, I wouldn't be sitting here in this chair. I'd probably be dead somewhere, He's my guy. Let's say how it started. I was a wrestler, and I stopped wrestling. I kind of dropped out of college. Don't do that, And I came back to San Luis Obispo, and when I got here, my old wrestling buddies were training at. It was now what it used to be called slow kickboxing. It was Jake Shields and Bo Taylor, and they were my good buddies. I wrestled with them in college. And so they actually were training under Chuck, so they kind of just got me back in to go help them. They had fights coming up, so they got me in there to help them train. And when I went to the gym, Chuck was like, "Hey, you start training with us." And then after that, I think maybe 2 months later, I got my first fight, and then it was just he's my trainer, my good buddy, and pretty much like my mentor, him and Hack, since day one. So yeah, and then it just steamrolled from there. He got me all my fights. He was with me throughout my whole career until I got done, and I was with him, most of his. He had fought, I think, 6 or 7 times before I got on the team. But yeah, it was kind of like I kind of got lucky, dude. With knowing Jake and Bo, because like they were training with him, and they're like, "Yeah, this guy fought the UFC. Come to his gym." And I was like, "All right, cool." And then I went there, and then you realize he's super good, and he ended up being, the UFC champ. So.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people, even if they know MMA, they know Chuck Liddell, they know he was over here in the Pit, they don't know the amount of guys that were coming over here to this area. I mean, you had not only yourself, but you had guys like Jake Shields coming in. You had, oh my gosh, I'm blanking out on his name. The gentleman that fought Yoel Romero, and he took him, Tim Kennedy.
Yeah.
He would come over here quite often as well. You obviously had John coaching all these guys. You had Glover. You had so many guys coming in. What was it like for you, for someone that was, like how you said, it took a little bit to get on the team and everything, to be around these guys? And, like, did you kind of realize even where you were in the moment? Like, dang, these guys are really, like, I'm in a special spot right now.
Oh yeah, I used to try to soak in all the moments. I mean, because I can just name the guys that trained out of the hill, the compound with Hack. I mean, it's a who's who of the MMA, and then Back in the day, Team Quest used to come up and train with John too. So like there'd be guys like Hendo, Randy, there all these guys. There's a couple other guys from the team that come. I slipped my mind, but I mean, yeah, everybody would come, and then that's like still back. I'm sure they do it a lot now, but back in the day, you'd have other teams come and train like that. It was pretty fun, and I liked it. I think it was like the golden era of MMA. It was still when MMA was coming out and huge, and it was super fun. It was wild days.
Yeah, I feel like those days, like kind of like how you said, they were the golden days. Even me now as an MMA fan, I look back at those days watching like on UFC Fight Pass or just seeing old fights, and I'm like, wow, like it's so cool even to see now that they're bringing fights back to Tachi Palace. And you're kind of a legend over there at Tachi Palace, man. What are your thoughts on it all? Do you think, hey, possibly soon, Tachi Palace Hall of Fame, Chad Mendez is getting inducted? Is there a possibility we're going to see El Huevos Rancheros over there?
That wasn't my nickname, dude. My buddy set that up. I never had a nickname, but I don't know. I fought there a bunch of times. Taji Palace, yeah, that's where I guess I did most of my work because I fought there all the time for the WC. It's a great venue. I love fighting out. I used to love fighting out there, and it's super close. And yeah, I'm glad I'm finally good. They stopped for a minute, and I'm glad they have fights back. And just got to get some of my guys on their cards so we can keep going out there.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking about some guys that have obviously been having some success recently, Cody Gibson, somebody that's going to be fighting pretty soon up here in the month of March. What are your thoughts about his fight coming up against Davey Grant? A very, very game opponent. Obviously, Cody showed a lot in that fight against Brad Katona and in that whole tough season. What are your thoughts on it all?
Well, of course, it's coach, so I think we're going to do really well. It's going to be a tough fight. Davey's a seasoned veteran. Also, so is Cody. If we stick to our game plan, I feel like we should do all right, but I'm excited about the fight. I'm excited about the matchup. I'm glad Cody's going to have his last run at the UFC here, at the end of his fight career, but we were trying to get the most out of it. So we're coming out with the W, and it's going to be a great fight, so tune in and watch.
How was that trip to Boston? I seen you guys were over there. You guys looked like you guys had a pretty fun time while you guys were in the area, right?
Yeah, it was super fun. I mean, fun. We didn't get the win, but we got the contract, so got the job done, I guess. We always want the W, but like I said, it was awesome getting back, back in the UFC and seeing things like that. This time it's a little bit different for me because I was either there with me or with Chuck, and it's different as a coach, I guess. So a little bit more nerve-wracking, things I can't control, but it's fun to be back.
Yeah, I think personally that was probably, if not a lot of fight fans' fight of the year, one of them. It was up there for sure, and I think a lot of people even had Gibson on those scorecards, me, myself included. I thought, hey, Cody could have got it done. Very, very close fight, but as you said, it would have been fun to walk out with the win. But hey, a UFC contract, that's definitely just as good as gold, especially for all the work that he was putting in throughout that tough season. But what are some things that you're looking forward to for your guys that you got upcoming? You not only have Cody, but you also got a couple of guys in the woodworks that are working in amateurs, Jackson Henson, Alexander Ineas. You had your guy Eddie Camacho. He's no longer fighting, but possibly
Man Bun.
And then I was going to say Man Bun's also recovering from an injury as well.
First pro win, right?
It's you guys have a plethora of guys, man. It just seems like every single time it's like there's a couple guys walking out of the pit. There's got 5 more coming, right?
Well, we have a small team right now, and John's always liked a small team. Obviously, we would like more guys, and if you want to come train, that's fine. But it's nice because I get to work individually with everybody, and like you said, we got a bunch of up and comers. I mean, it's just exciting having amateur guys and seeing them go through I guess the grind to get to where they need. Like Man Bun had 4 or 5 amateur fights. I should know. I went to all of them, right? Don't get hit in the head a bunch, I think he had 5 before he went pro, but he just had his first pro fight and his first pro win. So for like as a coach, that's awesome, and something to be excited about. But yeah, we got some up and comers. I mean, Jackson, if we can get him a fight in amateur and then hopefully go pro right after that. And then I got Alexander. He's about to have his second fight this weekend. So yeah, it's fun. I mean, the amateur show, it's fun, and then watching him build up. So it's just exciting, and yeah, we always got somebody coming up.
Just a couple more questions here for you. I appreciate you. I know this is your kind of lunch hour right now, so you're about to go grub up. But, back from the pit days, the original days when you were over there at Slow Kickboxing, did you ever envision this future? Did you ever think you were going to be coaching guys and be kind of down this path? Or was this something that has came to you and you kind of found a knack for it?
Well, once I started taking it seriously and Chuck and I sat down, we knew we were going to coach. I knew I was going to coach, and it was like pretty much his roadmap for me, like go fight, get in the UFC, win a title. Didn't get to do that. Obviously, that sucks. But at the end, originally when I went to college, I wanted to be a wrestling coach, and then I kind of, like I said, I dropped out, which sucked and was a dumb move on my side. But I found something else that I was pretty good at, and that I ended up falling in love with, and ended up doing that. So it worked out somewhat well. Like I said, it's Chuck's game plan. He was like, fight, win a bunch of fights, and at the end, take over the gym, which I ended up doing. And kind of, like I said, if it wasn't for him, I'd be in trouble. But yeah, so it's nice. I like coaching. It's fun. It keeps me sane and keeps me in the game.
Yeah, it definitely has kept you in the game. A guy that we're talking about that's big in the game right now, Alex Pereira, another Pit Ohana team member. He's going to be fighting kind of in revenge for your guy Glover, man. He's getting it back, going to attempt to get it back for Glover against Jamal Hill. What are your thoughts on the matchup? What were your thoughts when it was announced? And I already know who you got, but just give me the breakdown.
It's going to be nice. Obviously, he's one of Glover's guys, so he's under our banner. He's come over here and trained. He's big scary guy, but he's super good. Of course, he's technically from Glover's team, which is our team. So of course I want him to win. How do I see it going? With Alex, it's his hands, right? It's always his hands. So hopefully he can get his hands on him early and avoid the takedowns and just get his hands moving. I think if he can do that, he's hard to beat just in general, because he hits. You gotta admit, he hits like.
He's like a truck.
Right, like no other, yeah. And his style is so different than everybody else. If you've watched his videos, like him hitting mitts and stuff like that online, the guy does certain techniques that probably shouldn't work, but it worked for him. So, I think, hopefully we can get another title back to the pit. That'll be awesome.
Yeah, possibly another. He's already got the middleweight championship. Yeah. He's got the light heavyweight, but just solidifying it, making it unified, and beating Jamal Hill, that would definitely put a nice cherry on top. What are some things that, I know you said you're obviously throwing that invite out if anybody wanted to come train over there at Pit.fit, if they were open for a challenge and open to go ahead and get some work in the MMA sphere, that you were over there. But what are some things maybe you want to end off this video with, end off this interview, and just let fight fans know?
Nothing. Just if you come by, if you're in Slow and you want to get some great training, come to Pit.fit, and it's my gym. It's a martial arts school. We'll teach you anything you need. As far as fighting wise, if you want to train and be a fighter, come by, check it out. First class is free. It's simple. That's about it.
Hey, man, I really appreciate your time today, Antonio. A legend in this game. If you guys do not know already, make sure you guys do your homework. Michael Hernandez of MLH Media, and we're going to be signing out over here at the Pit HQ with El Buenos Rancheros, Antonio Banuelos. Hey, thank you, Coach.